She was the daughter of Gotham's most honest cop, the prodigy who could solve any case. The woman who wore the cape not because she had to, but because she believed the city could be saved. And then, one night, the Joker rang her doorbell. What happened next wasn't just a tragedy. It was the moment Barbara Gordon discovered that survival can be crueler than death itself. This is the story of a woman who lost her legs, her identity, and her faith in justice, only to find something darker waiting on the other side. Because sometimes, the real horror isn't what breaks you. It's realizing you were always meant to break. Barbara Gordon was never supposed to be a victim. She was the exception, the one who chose this life with clear eyes. While Bruce Wayne was forged in childhood trauma and Dick Grayson was an orphan adopted into violence, Barbara walked into the darkness willingly, brilliantly, deliberately. She was the commissioner's daughter who taught herself martial arts, who built her own suit, who earned Batman's respect not through tragedy, but through sheer competence. She was proof that you didn't need a dead parent to be a hero. You just needed conviction. And that's what makes what happened to her so obscene. At first, Batgirl was everything Gotham didn't know it needed. Quick, intelligent, strategic. While Batman brooded and Robin quipped, Barbara Gordon simply got the job done. She was the best of them, and she knew it. The cape wasn't therapy for her. It was purpose. She moved through Gotham's shadows like someone who understood both the law and the night. Her father enforced justice from behind a desk. She enforced it from the rooftops. And for years, it worked. Until the night James Gordon's doorbell rang. The Joker didn't come for Batman that night. He came for the thing Batman couldn't protect, the people who still believed in him. Barbara answered the door in civilian clothes. No mask, no armor, just a young woman in her own home. The Joker shot her through the spine, not to kill her, to prove a point. He stripped her, photographed her broken body, and used those images to torture her father, trying to drive Jim Gordon insane. The message was simple. Your goodness is a joke. Your family is a punchline. Everything you protect can be destroyed in a single moment of random cruelty. Barbara Gordon survived, but the woman who wore the cape died on that floor. And here's the part that no one talks about. She didn't lose just her legs. She lost her entire identity. Overnight, Barbara went from being one of Gotham's protectors to being its most famous victim. The headline, the cautionary tale, the reason fathers tell their daughters not to put on a mask. She became the Joker's masterpiece. While Bruce Wayne got to remain Batman, while Dick Grayson got to grow into Nightwing, Barbara Gordon was expected to fade quietly into wheelchairs and sympathy. The narrative was written for her. Brave girl, tragic ending, time to retire. But Barbara Gordon refused to be a footnote. She rebuilt herself as Oracle, the information broker who could see everything Gotham's heroes couldn't. From her chair, she became more powerful than she'd ever been in the suit. She coordinated entire teams, predicted crimes before they happened, and turned her paralysis into a strategic advantage. She proved she didn't need to walk to be essential. But here's the cost no one sees. Oracle was born from humiliation. Every time she helped Batman, every time she saved a life from behind a screen, she was staring at the gap between who she was and who she'd been forced to become. The cape was a choice. The chair was a punishment. And the worst part? Gotham moved on. The Joker kept escaping. Batman kept catching him. The cycle continued as if Barbara's body wasn't the price of that failure, as if her spine wasn't collateral damage in a war that never ends. She became the most competent person in the Bat family and the most invisible, the one everyone relied on and no one truly saw. Because heroes are visible. Victims are not. Years later, comic book writers gave her back her legs. They called it progress, a miracle of future technology, a triumphant return. Barbara Gordon walked again. She put the suit back on. But that's not the real story. The real story is that for decades, Barbara Gordon was more interesting, more complex, and more powerful without her legs than she ever was with them. Oracle wasn't a consolation prize. She was evolution. Yet the world couldn't accept a disabled hero as the final form. The narrative demanded she be fixed, as if her wheelchair was the real villain all along, as if survival wasn't enough. as if reinvention wasn't heroism. And that's the cruelest irony of Barbara Gordon's story. She survived the Joker. She survived paralysis. She survived irrelevance. She built an entirely new kind of power from her trauma. But she couldn't survive the expectation that heroes must be whole. Barbara Gordon didn't just lose her legs that night, she lost the right to define her own story. Writers, fans, and even her allies decided what her tragedy meant, what her recovery should look like, what her body needed to be for her to matter. She became a symbol of resilience and a reminder of failure at the same time. And maybe that's the real lesson, that the worst thing the Joker did wasn't pulling the trigger. It was making the world believe that Barbara Gordon's greatest accomplishment would be learning to walk again. When the truth is, she never stopped moving forward. She just had to do it in a world that couldn't see past the chair. So here's what remains. A woman who chose heroism and got punishment, who survived violence and was told survival wasn't enough, who rebuilt herself and was still defined by what she lost. Barbara Gordon didn't need to walk to be powerful, but she needed the world to believe she could be broken and still be whole. The Joker rang her doorbell once, but Gotham made her answer for it forever. And she's still standing, in her own way, on her own terms, even if no one's looking.